Hello everyone, this is update for January 26, 2023, day 337, end of the date update. Today is going to be pretty short update, not really much is going on. There is much going on, but there are no sort of movements. So first, there was again attack by Russian military, missile attack, rocket attack against Ukrainian infrastructure. There is some damage, especially near Kyiv, which is the primary target overall. However, the system is still sort of functioning as one, and in definitely in coma, but alive. And I would say the effectiveness of overall as a trend, effectiveness of all of those rocket strikes is clearly diminishing. Not sure why. I don't actually have good explanation for that. But either all the easy targets has been picked up, and the rest is not so easy to get, or I'm not sure actually why this is going on. Don't have enough information on that. Then, in terms of delivery of all of those tanks, so I guess some, initial disappointment is actually U.S. and Abrams tanks, which I guess it was very clear from the very beginning that there is no inventory, ready available inventory, and they need to be sort of procured from somewhere. And at this time in the world, there's probably not that many countries that want to part with potentially very valuable asset. And the production line is actually surprisingly, weak in the US, at least at the moment. There's obviously, can be ramped up, but at the moment, US can produce only 12 tanks per month, which, as you can imagine, pretty much nothing. So if this tanks to be produced, it probably will take about 3 months, but the plant is busy working for Poland right now, and I think Thailand. So again, all of those 30 Abrams tanks are quite a bit up in the air. I mean, they will come, but as they say, maybe too little, too late, as they say. So that's sort of first part that's sort of clearly not going to be there when it's going to be needed. And then in terms of Leopard tanks, some portion of them will clearly materialize pretty quickly, but it's not going to be also like, let's say, 100 or 80. It looks like it's going to be like 20, 30, at best 40 tanks that will come, let's say, within a month and a half, when they're going to be the mostly needed. And then Challenger tanks looks like they're gonna come, I think, end of March. So as you can see, they will come, but as I said, unfortunately, majority of them will come, I would say, a little too late. So I would say in general good news, but there is quite a bit of disappointment about the timing of all of that. But and as I said before, the biggest question is ability of Ukrainian army to use them effectively, which I think is not there right now. Hopefully things will change later. Beyond that, there's not much of. And then just a sort of strategic update. Japan stopped exporting some of the critical goods to Russia, such as medical equipment, basically high-tech industrial stuff that we kind of all used to, and they don't see them as sort of anything special. But if you don't have them, your life is going to be very miserable. So that's what's happening, and Japan is a big one of the major producers, along with Germany, of high-tech industrial goods, and so it's gonna make it life much more difficult in Russia. There is obviously, like black market, all of that exists, gray market, whatever you call it. So Russia still will be able to buy some of what is mostly needed, but it will be, you're gonna pay 3 times more. It will be 3 times fewer in number. So as you can imagine, there will be huge shortages. There will be problems regardless, for sure, in Russia related to all of this. Um, Now let's actually walk through the front line situation along the state border, more or less the same. Um, no, nothing special is going on there. Then I don't even know who generates this rumors that about potential attack out of Belarus. Nothing is going to happen there, like at least in foreseeable future, and I don't think anytime soon. So again, don't know who generates it, or just as a distraction by propaganda machines by both sides, but very unclear. But it's sort of totally nothing is happening there. Now let's jump to the North Lugansk front line. Things here are getting more and more firmly in the Russian hands, meaning initiative. Russian troops are, as you can see, attacking in very concentrated area. They obviously want to destroy this bridgeheads that Ukrainian forces established, and then obviously then they want to do their own bridgeheads, and eventually they want to capture all of this. So this is a long sort of story, and probably not happening for the Russian side, at least not right now. As I said before, there are some indication of build-up of the assault troops, but it doesn't look like there is enough to sort of make decisive move there. Let's put it this way. There's other indications that Russian units are sort of returning to the front line. So, for example, 38 Brigade was used to be here in this box. It was being refitted. Now it's down south in the Zaporizhya region. So, as I said, things are on the move. More Russian units are going to be coming to the front line in full force, uh, anytime soon. And as I said, there probably will be large offensive at some point. Um, I was sort of expecting it end of January, but totally possible it's going to be shifted towards February. But at some point, Russia will have enough resources and ready resources to launch something major. And that's why I was mentioning those tanks, because even if they are not even effectively used, it's better to have sort of something that more advanced um, uh, in your disposal when you facing a large scale offensive than not. Now let's move to the North Donbass front line. Things here are for now sort of without large advances by the Russian troops. As I said many times before, this is just we're not seeing sort of, there is invisible things happening in terms of some small strongholds being lost, and once sort of enough of them being lost, then the front line crashes, and that's how it works. So at this point, there is this small work happening that we basically not seeing yet. The same is going on here south of Bakhmut. So the same Wagner mercenaries are sort of the goal objective is Ivanivsky, obviously, as I said many times before, and this whole area around Poroskovivka, Blagodatna, essentially get as close as possible to this road that goes from Bakhmut, I believe, to Slovyansk there. So essentially, but the ultimate goal is to cut off this road that goes through Khromovo, and then essentially Bakhmut is done at that point. And unfortunately, this is not far away. This moment, it's not imminent, but may take another week, may take another 10 days, 14 days. but um, but it's not far away. Um, Now let's look at the central Donbass front line. So things here are sort of the same. Regular Russian military attacking out of Peski salient without really much success. The same is Marinka, bogged down in both places. Vuhledar looks like they also fizzled out there. There was some, I would say, some initial success where they got uh, Russian troops captured sort of like outskirts, southeastern outskirts of Vuhledar, but not Vuhledar itself. And they got bogged down there. So so far there was strong pressure, though I have to say there was both sides sort of had significant losses on both sides. But so far, it looks that Vuhledar is going to remain in Ukraine hands. I'm not saying 100%, but let's say probability-wise, it's sort of, if we take 50-50, the percentage that Vuhledar will remain in Ukrainian hands is higher than 50%. Um, and then let's move. Let's see what's going on on the Zaporizhya front line. Things here are quiet for now, quieted down. Let's put it this way. There is quite a bit of artillery, say barrage going on here around Velika Novosilka in this area, and obviously Vuhledar for the same reason. But and Russian troops also attacking Arihiv, but this is just artillery, right? So no major sort of true offensive. Let's put it this way. Oh, and then another sort of update news is that the what's I would say it. So there was this regiment Azov that was basically, if you look at Azov as more like organization. So the most sort of battle capable part of it was this sort of what is sort of like is known sort of famously as Azov, that regiment that was trapped in Mariupol and essentially annihilated as a military unit. Many people sort of survived, which is great, and they are alive and so on. So that's a great news. But as a military unit, it's gone and sort of not gonna sort of resurrect uh, in this iteration of the war. But there were sort of other parts of organizations throughout the country, and they sort of kind of tried to rebuild Azov regiment. It's not the same. Let's put it this way. It's not the same quality. And now this Azov regiment was reorganized into the formal name is, I think, Third Assault Brigade. I would I would really not pay attention to this assault name. There, just um, people like, how to say, loud terms, and but really, it's, in terms of assault, it's much ado about nothing. So just another brigade, um, um, and even though it's called Azov, it's just shadow of itself, and it even is in Ukrainian sort of army. Used to be in. So the original Azov was under Ukrainian National Guard system, not under the army system. This one is has been moved to the army system. So in other words, there's um, essentially just a shell at this point. It's not truly that Azov that sort of used to be. So basically, it's in a way kind of like a marketing. People trying to use famous name essentially at this point. That was just a quick update on this whole Azov situation. So people don't think that this is really resurrection of that sort of famous unit. It's not. It's just abusing, I would say, abusing the or misusing the name, or basically salesy tactic to use a famous name essentially, and that's all it is. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and until tomorrow, bye bye.